I'm Greg Hunter, and this is the weekly news wrap-up for Friday, September 9th, 2011. President Obama and his job speech last night, he's proposing another, $500 billion? Well, to be exact, $447 billion. The hallmark is the payroll tax cut for employees, and now for employers, that eats up most of that $447 billion. There's about $200 billion that they want to do spending, stimulus. Two big problems, Democrats. There are Democrats who want to preserve Social Security. It says, hey, no, we don't want you to stop the payroll tax. We don't want that. That weakens Social Security. That's his own party saying that. The other big problem, Republicans, Tea Party Republicans, they're not going to want to extend another couple $100 billion anyway and more stimulus spending. That's going to be a real tough one to get through Congress. Also this week, the Republican debate. And hey, Ron Paul wins and loses at the same time. He actually won the debate, according to an NBC poll. He got more votes than the number 2 candidate, which was Romney, by 2-1. He had 100%, more than 100% more votes than Romney, but he lost because the mainstream media once again ignored him. He only got 3 questions? But still, in an NBC poll, he won. And I watched MSNBC, I watched Fox, I watched them all. Ron Paul hardly mentioned. And you know what that tells me? That the corporate media, the MSM, and also Democrats and Republicans must be really afraid of Ron Paul, because all they really can do is just ignore him. They can't call him crazy, because what he's pointing out are real problems, and he has some real solutions, and solutions are going to, hurt the people in power. So stay tuned to the Ron Paul saga. Wouldn't it be wild if he was elected, despite the fact that Democrats, Republicans, and the mainstream media were all against him, and the people actually elected him? We shall see. Wish him the best. Next up, we have the Virginia Appeals Court. And Obamacare won a big ruling, another big ruling, and that was basically the appeals court said, hey, listen, Virginia, you're suing for this Obamacare because basically the big rub is if you don't buy insurance, you get penalized. And many people think that's unconstitutional. Well, they said, hey, Virginia, you don't have any legal standing, and we don't want states suing and enforcing the Constitution. You'd have constitutional watchdogs in all 50 states. Yeah, that's the whole idea of states' rights. Expect that to be appealed. That's a huge fight. So it keeps going, evident flow and evident tide, back and forth. Huge fight, Obamacare. Bernanke, QE3, also gave a speech yesterday, very coy about whether or not he'd have QE3. He said there are tools that they can deploy. Rick Santelli, CNBC, I love him. He says, hey, I don't know, something to the effect. I don't know why people think Bernanke can pull a rabbit out of his hat when the hat is the size of a thimble. He's a funny guy, right? But anyway, Bernanke is got basically, can't lower interest rates. They're 0 to 0.25%. Effectively, they're zero. So what they can do is monetize debt, and I think either they do it or they let things collapse. So we shall see. And things are not going good. I mean, the best that BLS could do with all their gimmicks and all their, hedonic measuring and all their accounting gimmicks to make things look better. And as far as the jobs number last week was to have 0 net jobs. 0. I did this on Monday, a little post, and used a shadowstats.com number. Well, the real number, without all the gimmicks that make things look better, was a job loss from July to August of 58,000 jobs. Yes, a negative 58,000 jobs. So, the Federal Reserve's meeting later on this month, they know the economy's bad. They got, Federal Reserve banks all over the country. They got hundreds of economists. They know it's bad. They know it's more than 0 jobs created. We shall see. Joseph Ackerman, the CEO of Deutsche Bank over in Europe, said something shocking and amazing and probably pretty truthful. He said basically that numerous, his words, banks in Europe would be insolvent if they used mark-to-market accounting with their sovereign debt. In other words, if they put their sovereign debt out there and sold it for exactly what they could get for it today, the banks would be insolvent. Now, I don't know if he's pulling some type of, Hank Paulson, the world's coming to an end, we need bailout money. I don't have any idea if he's doing that or if really financially the world is coming to an end, and There are some that say it is. But things are not going well in Europe. Nothing is fixed in Europe. And listen, the whole mark-to-market accounting, if they valued what was on their books here in the United States for what they could get for a day, numerous banks would also be insolvent here in the United States. But you know what this is about? This isn't about banking. This isn't about doing the right thing. This is about people remaining in power. If the banks were taken down, a lot of people would be out of power. That would actually be the best thing for the world. Ultimately, yes, it would be rough, but that would ultimately be the best thing for the entire world. I also wrote a piece this week about how it's totally obvious that major crimes were committed and nobody is being prosecuted here in the United States. Which brings me to my final subject, and that is gold. You know, it looks like the powers that be are trying to push the price of gold down, or maybe it's just the market. But boy, gold is trading in a range of, well, between $1,800 and $1,900 an ounce. And a lot of people want gold. They think it is the only money and the only safe play out there, maybe along with silver. But that's what a lot of people think, that gold is the big play, that according to people like Jim Rickards, who's an insider who I have a lot of respect for, he says that basically you're going to see higher highs and higher lows. It's not going to go straight up or straight down in a straight line. However, the trend is up. Higher highs with higher lows. That's the way I see it. I'm Greg Hunter. Thank you for supporting USAWatchdog.com.